What's going on, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today we are taking a look at a very awesome knife from a really awesome dude. If you guys are not aware, Chris Early with BlackStar Designs. He does custom fixed blades. This is his first folder release. So this is a Shieldon OEM, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, I'll correct it here. Yeah, really cool design, really nice, very well executed blade, and from a really awesome person. You know, Chris is a homie, so definitely got to rep him. Now that being said, of course, if I have any feedback, you guys are going to hear it. You know how I am, how I do. Full honesty, full transparency. I did pay for this knife, so just be aware of that. But it doesn't matter who the designer is. If there are issues, of course, I am going to talk about them. That being said, I think you should buy the knife. Go ahead, spoiler alert. If you were just looking at that to figure out what I want to say, yeah, it's worth buying. So it does come in a really nice slip box. You do get a couple of stickers here. Chris Early for president. Make your EDC great again. You get the BlackStar Designs, made in Tennessee. Look at there. So again, this is a Shieldon OEM. So this particular knife is made in China. However, of course, his custom folders and things of that nature are handmade there in Tennessee. So here is your COA Apex Arc. It is S35. You do have a bead blast tie, stonewash on the blade. Your hardness is 59 to 61. And then, of course, they are hand-signed by Chris himself. Comes in a really nice embroidered pouch here. And we'll go ahead and take a look at this thing. So I did take a day or two to spend a little bit of pocket time with this thing. And I can tell you it is a very nice knife. It does carry quite well. The upgrade that he did on the pocket clip works very well. Now, that being said, I will say mine has a little bit of a tap to it. That does not bother me. Excuse me. If it is something that, if your particular one has that, it is an extremely easy thing to remedy. All you have to do is take the knife apart, take your pocket clip screw out, and then just bend that pocket clip in just slightly, and I'll get rid of that little tap. Like I said, it doesn't bother me because, well, I don't ever hear it, quite honestly. So anyway, let's jump right in to the blade itself, as per usual. So here we do have the BlackStar Designs logo lasered into the pivot there. Really nice satin pivot, and then the blasted titanium here. And I do have some really serious plans for this knife. I'm going to visit my buddy Colin at Colin's Crazy Creations. Chamfering is done really well across the board here. And I do believe we are looking at T6 and T8 hardware. Let's go ahead and take a look here at our hardware. Oh, I'm sorry, that is all T8 hardware. My eyes have deceived me. So, very well done there. Very well done there. Let's go ahead and check the other side. Everything looks to be... Even the block bar insert is T8 hardware. So everything looks to be done very well. No real issues there. And we do have a half length. That's probably a 3/4 length backspacer. It does have some texturing on it, some jimping. More there for aesthetics, I'm sure, but it does, or it is there. And there we can see the really nicely done pocket clip. Again, this thing rides in the pocket like a dream. A single cutout for your lock bar relief. Really nicely chamfered around that, no snag points there, and it does come in after the pocket clip, so you don't have any issues with snagging. Lock bar relief done really well. Again, Shieldon did a great job with the OEM work on here. Jimping on the flipper is there. It is, again, it's not very functional, but as you guys know, that's kind of a common thread in my videos. But honestly, you don't really need it. In this particular case, the flipper is done well in general, so you don't really need that. And we have a kind of a modified sheep's foot here. Is a hollow ground blade. So it does come down fairly thin behind the edge. Really nicely done on that. The blade work looks to be good. You do have the S35VN there. On the other side, you have just BlackStar. No real issues with the branding there. It's pretty tastefully done. Plunge grind is a tad on the late side, but you still have plenty of room for sharpening. Thanks to that hollow grind, it is nice and thin all the way through, so you're not really going to create any smiles there. Sharpening is done pretty doggone well. Looks like we got just a hair of a burr there on the back end there on the heel, but everything else looks good. Let's take a look at that tip. Looks good on that side. Looks like we're going to have an even tip. Let's take a look here. And diddly-do we do. So we have a really nice even tip on this sheep's foot blade. So you guys know I am a sucker for sheep's feet. Lockup is phenomenal. Let's check our centering. Smack dab right down the middle. A really well done blade. So if you've seen my unboxing, you guys know I did get a chance to take a look at the prototype at Blade Show Atlanta. And I really enjoyed the knife. He did, like I said, he did make some changes. I believe the pocket clip, and then it was, it didn't have a backspacer. It was a pillar design. But now he went to the backspacer, and like I said, I believe he changed the pocket clip to make it a little more deep carry. Fantastic changes all around. Ergonomically, I mean, you can honestly just tell by looking at it, quite frankly, that it's going to feel good in the hand. This is a knife that is very much a, this is a bruiser. This is, I mean, it is a little on the heavy side, but when you consider the size and the materials and everything, it's really not. I'm just saying this isn't a small knife. This is a knife that is built to put in work. If you've ever seen his fixed blades, you just kind of automatically see the design language that he is used to putting into his blades. This is very reminiscent of the fixed blade that we picked up for my son. It is very much a Chris Early design, and that's a very good thing. When you put it in your hand, it feels like it's meant to be there. The flipper is out of the way, even for my big old fat hand. It locks in. You're just really well. The jimping is beautiful, so it's very aesthetically pleasing, but it's also functional, which is a very key thing for me. And you guys know, for me, I would rather have no jimping than bad jimping. In this case, the jimping doesn't look like it would be functional. If I'm being honest, it looks like it is an aesthetic jimping. But when you do get your hand on it and you lock in, it does, because of that, the gaps in that jimping, how wide it is, your finger locks in really, really well. Very pleasantly surprised with that. I don't know if that was much of a change from the original. I do remember being fairly impressed with the original, with the jimping and everything, but I can't remember if any of that changed much from the prototype. Lock bar access is phenomenal. Chamfering on the lock bar is great. Let's take a look at where, I mean, look at it. You don't get much better than that. I mean, that's, and you know, a lot of you guys will probably get this reference. This is, you know, damn near Devo level of detent placement. So you break the lock and your detent is right there. So you have no issues clearing that lock, no real issues with double clutch. And this, like I said, this thing is right out of the box. I did not adjust the pivot, or excuse me, I did not adjust the lock bar. Like I said, the flipper, or the detent is a little light, again, for what I personally like. But when I know that I'm dealing with that, I can make the adjustments needed. But this thing is just lightning smooth right out of the box. This thing is just freaking sweet. Now, one thing I want to go ahead and do is I am actually going to go ahead and make a slight adjustment to this thing while I'm looking at it right here. So, like I said, if I have a little bit of lock bar pressure, this thing rockets out. It is no issues at all. And again, this is personal preference, guys. So this has nothing to do with the you know, with anything of the knife itself, it's just a personal preference thing. So you can get yours and have the exact same detent, and you be 1000% happy with it right out of the box. So it is by no means a bad or a super light detent. It's just not quite as heavy as what I enjoy. So let's go ahead and change that really quickly here on the camera. I'm going to fast forward through this, so there will not be any talking unless I get to a point where I want to mention something about the knife itself. So here you can see those relief cuts. So this thing does have some very serious weight reliefs. In here, you'll see there are no liners whatsoever. Now I am going to go ahead and pull this thing the rest of the way apart. I am also going to check to see if maybe if I have a set of skiffs for this thing. So they are 1/16. Okay. Alright, so I don't have a set of skiffs yet for it. I have a set coming. They'll be here before too long. So it does use a 5mm 1/16 bearing. So for everybody that does skiff their knives, that's what you're looking at. There you can see your backspacer and all that good stuff. Alright, we'll go ahead and fast forward up again. There we have where our lock bar is at. I'm going to probably try to move it to about there. Alright, let's take a little check and see how that does. Alright, yep, so that is perfect. Got it just easily tuned. Anybody that's familiar with, like I said, with these things, everybody has their own personal preferences on detent weight and everything, so it is not unusual at all to want to tune your detent a little bit. Easily goes right back to perfectly centered. One thing I have noticed is it does not appear to be a captured pivot, but the pivot is it didn't move at all, so it didn't have any issues with tightening or loosening of the pivot, so no issues there. Now the detent is very well tuned for me, still very much a hydraulic shut, just like it was right out of the box, so really enjoy that. Fantastically done. Again, I can't say enough about how proud I am of Chris for knocking this out of the park. This has been a long time coming for him. You know, unfortunately, I haven't known him for that long. It's been just under a year, I want to say, that we have been friends, but he is a really fantastic dude, him and his wife. I'm going to link all of their socials and everything down below, so make sure you check him out on YouTube. He goes live, you know, 2 or 3 times a week usually. Just kind of shooting the shit, and it's a fun time. There's usually only a few of us in there that are kind of regulars. Every once in a while, some you know, new people will pop in. So if you haven't subscribed to Chris at BlackStar Designs, like I said, make sure you do that. He will be down below. These knives run anywhere between. You can pick them up just the knife itself for $185, and he does offer a lefty version as well. So if you're for all you lefties out there, you have the option to get that. And all I can say is for folks like me that will use this knife left-handed, even though you carry it on the right, it is very much, you know, lefty friendly for that, other than just not having the reversible clip. But like I said, he does offer a full left-handed version. I almost picked that one up, but I decided not to, just because I knew that Jaleesa likes a flipper-only knife, and she may carry this from time to time, especially after Colin does his magic to it. A little bit of specs on it. So you're looking at right at a 3.5-inch blade. It's 3.48, and then right at an 8-inch overall. So it's 7.91 inches overall, and then the weight on it, you're looking at 5.4 ounces. And so it is, like I said, it's not a uber lightweight knife, but it is a good weight for what you're looking at here. Out of the box sharpness, it is no issues there. You guys can see it is, I can do curlies with this thing, I think. Yeah, it's wanting to try to do curlies, so there we go. We're getting those curlies. So, very sharp right out of the box. No issues, like I said, no issues there. And then, like I said, you can pair this with other things on his website. So you can have the option of pairing this with a custom fixed blade or with things like swag packs and I think hats and shirts and license plates, all kinds of different options. Again, just check him out on his website. It's a Big Cartel website. Again, that will be down below, as well as his Instagram and YouTube. So with that, y'all, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're still here, make sure to let me know down below in the comments. But most importantly, please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Y'all take care.